What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today, ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell from the story, I've got a video about a weird kid at someone's school. This time, it's somebody that convinced themselves that they were literally married to Harry Potter, so you know I had to talk about it. But before we get into it, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. Your friends are going to start thinking they're married to Harry Potter characters, and let's
Nice rack in her ass Brazilian. Just turned 21, but my bank's a million.
Alright, so this takes place during a group project. Basically, the person that sent this in to me and one of their friends walked into class and was told that they had to sit at this table with two people they didn't know very well. And it was a guy and a girl, and they were friends. You know, it was obvious they were, like, friendly with each other because they were talking a lot. And so they get in, they sit there, and the teacher comes out and is like, alright, you guys are going to be working on a group project. Here's the basics of the assignment, but today you're just going to be working on brainstorming. And she's like, alright, get to work. And so they don't know each other, so they kind of introduce each other, and the two people, the guy and the girl, are like, alright, before we get started, there's just something that we gotta know. What house are you a part of? Are you guys more Hufflepuff? Are you more Gryffindor? Are you more Slytherin? Like, you know, what house are you? And obviously, if you're not a Harry Potter fan, that's nonsense to you. And it just so happened that the person who sent this to me was not a Harry Potter fan, so like when they get asked this and they just start saying that, they're like, what are you talking about? And you know, they say this in a way that's like not trying to be insulting, not trying to be mean, but they just genuinely don't know. They're like, what is that? You know, I'm not familiar with that. And instead of being kind of understanding or like, you know, reasonable about the fact that maybe not everyone has read all of the Harry Potter books, they both look at each other and then look back at them and go, you guys don't know the Harry Potter houses? But they say it like really loud where the class kind of hears it. And obviously this guy and his friend are like, no, we do not, you know, are we supposed to or something? Sorry for not knowing something from a book, right? And the guy kind of laughs and goes, it's a little bit more than a book. And the guy's friend is like, oh yeah, movies, you know? Trying to like kind of not be rude, but be like, yeah, there's books and movies. And the guy's like, no, actually. And he points at his friend, that's the girl at the table, and she flips her hair. And he's like, she's married to Harry Potter, so I would be careful calling it just a book and a movie if I were you. And obviously, I don't really know what's up with that, but it's very obvious to the two people that have just joined this conversation, you know, the two guys that came and sat at this table, that she's not actually married to Harry Potter because, you know, he doesn't actually exist. So the subscriber asks, you know, all right, well, how did you marry Harry Potter? I thought he was just a character that exists in books. I didn't realize it was possible to marry non-fictional people. And she's like, looks like somebody has never heard of shifting before. And he's like, shifting? And she's like, yeah, it's a way for you to transport yourself to other dimensions so that way you can join worlds that you want to be a part of. And at this point, both of the guys who are like, you know, the subscriber and his friend are like, this person is nuts. You know, I'm all in favor of chasing your dreams or whatever, but you're not actually teleporting to Hogwarts. So he kind of says something along the lines of like, well, you know you're not actually married to Harry Potter, right? Like, I'm sure you can have dreams about it or whatever, but you're not actually married to him, I'm sorry. And she kind of is like, exactly what somebody who doesn't understand shifting would say. And he's like, okay, well then explain it to me. Explain how you get to Harry Potter's dimension and why he married you. And she's like, all right, so I get on my bed and I start to meditate and I get into this super deep trance. And once I'm in a deep enough trance, I hear Harry Potter and then I snap my fingers and I'm not on my bed anymore. I'm in Harry Potter's world and I can cast spells and go to class and do all this stuff in the Harry Potter universe. And obviously, dude, this is just nuts. You know, like, listen, I know some people have some intense experiences if they meditate or whatever. Like, okay, maybe you get really relaxed. You'll, like, envision what you want in life or whatever. Whatever you get from meditation is what you get from meditation. But you're not living in Harry Potter. Like, even if you're really, really, really having a vivid imagination while you're meditating about, like, being in Hogwarts, you don't actually have magical powers. Like, Harry Potter Potter, the character from the book doesn't know you exist. And obviously the subscriber says something along the lines of like, well, even if you're meditating, you're not actually going to Hogwarts, because that's just the truth. You're not actually married to Harry Potter. You imagined that you were, right? But I could imagine that I'm a lot of things. Just because I'm imagined that I have a private jet doesn't mean it's a good idea for me to go to the airport and take one. That ends with me getting arrested. And she's like, yes, I am married to Harry Potter. You don't understand shifting. You're pissing me off and making me very, very mad. And she's yelling that. So obviously the teacher thinks there's an issue. So she starts coming over to make sure everything's all right. And she's like, yeah, okay, is everything okay over here? And the Harry Potter girl is like, yeah, everything's fine except for these two being extremely ignorant. And the teacher's like, well, what are they being ignorant about? Well, I told them that I'm married to Harry Potter, and they told me that that's impossible, and clearly they've never done meditation or shifting before. And the subscriber is like, I told her that she's not married to Harry Potter because she's not married to Harry Potter. And the girl's like, yes, I am, And then the subscriber at that point is getting fed up because she's like yelling at him, demanding that he acknowledge the fact that she's married to a fictional character that doesn't actually exist. And he kind of like yells at her a little bit. He's like, I'm sorry, but you didn't teleport to Hogwarts. And when he finishes Hogwarts, instead of her, arguing more, she just reaches back and just slaps him. And it's a pretty solid slap, This wasn't a situation where, like, it's a slap and everything's all good. No, it was almost like this girl watched that video of Logan Paul slapping that guy so hard that, like, he went unconscious and just modeled her form after that. It was a pretty fantastic slap. Obviously, the entire class was watching at that point, so they're all like, oh, because anytime you watch somebody get slapped in the middle of class, you're gonna have that reaction. It just is what it is. It's the standard. It's like, if you hit someone in class, the class is going to freak out. It's just the rules. Anyways, obviously teachers got to do what the teachers got to do. Alright guys, I'm going to interrupt the video for just 1 second. If you take a look at your screen now, you'll see a gift card code. For those of you that don't know, I give one of these away in every single video I post to say thanks to y'all for subscribing and turning on notifications, so if you haven't yet, you should. And while I got your attention, be sure to press the like button, otherwise no joke, no scam, your mom's a hoe, and without further ado, let's get back to the video, thanks. So the teacher kind of breaks him up, obviously, because that's what she's got to do, and she's like, alright, you guys have to go to the dean's office and figure this out. That's not how we conduct ourselves in class, the usual drill that teachers got to do because they just can't let you be fighting in class. And so they're walking to the dean's office, and they're not getting escorted or anything, and the entire time they're arguing back and forth more about whether or not she's married to Harry Potter, and she's like, I am, and you're gonna look stupid when we get up to the office, and he's like, no, you're not. We're already in trouble, right? Like, chances are we're both gonna get in trouble. It is what it is. That's just the way the school works, but you're not married to Harry Potter, and I don't care what anyone in the office says, like, you're just not. And they're just kind of bickering back and forth, and finally they get into the office. They have to sit in the chairs for a bit. The dean is finally like, all right, get in here. And, they're getting the lecture about how we have to build a community here and we can't be fighting. And if you guys aren't going to support one another, it's not a very good situation. And we're all a part of the same community at this school, so we all have to get along. So what are we going to do to solve this? Because we all know that it's not our school spirit to let things stay bad like this. And obviously, it's just one of those things. I don't know why teachers always pitch this like, we always have to get along. You just don't. In fact, if you really don't like someone, it's probably better to just avoid them as much as humanly possible than pretend you like them and just have it suck for everybody. But whatever, he gives this speech, and she's like, the only way that this is going to be better in my mind is if he apologizes for making fun of me for thinking I'm married to Harry Potter and admits that it's real. And obviously, he's got a very big issue with this because he does not think she's married to Harry Potter because, well, she's not married to Harry Potter. She's just not. And he kind of tries to do the diplomatic answer of like, we can agree to disagree, but you're not married to Harry Potter, and I'm not going to apologize for saying that, right? Like, he tries his best. And the dean is like, well, we can agree to disagree, but we also need to be able to apologize and understand that we view it differently. And listen, I don't know where this dean is from, bro. I don't know where he learned this from, but like, dude, what? If this is about any other situation, fine, I get it. You gotta learn to make do with differences or whatever. But you can't be mad at somebody for just pointing out something that is true, right? Like if somebody came into the office, I want him to apologize for saying that I breathe oxygen because I don't breathe oxygen. Like, that would be stupid because we just all breathe oxygen. She's not married to Harry Potter. And the subscriber is like, no, I'm not going to apologize. There is nothing to view differently. You're just not married to a fictional character. Like, I'm not going to apologize, and you're not going to get me to apologize. And he says that to the dean. And the dean tries to, like, spin it, and say, well, aren't you as bad as her at this point if you're not going to apologize? Shouldn't you be the bigger man in this situation? And usually that is probably like his go-to card that works. People will be like, you're right, I'm sorry. But it just so happened that the subscriber of mine's like a very petty guy, so he was not going to give up. And he goes, no, she slapped me for saying that she's not married to Harry Potter, and she's not married to Harry Potter because he doesn't exist. So I'm not understanding how me not apologizing makes me worse than her. I don't want to be the bigger person. I want to be able to do my group project without getting slapped. And the dean kind of sits there for a second and has to like think about that one, because it is a good point, like how is this worse? How is not apologizing for saying something as bad as slapping someone? And the dean is like, well, maybe that's how she feels, and who are you to tell her that that's not true? Who are you to say that she's not married to Harry Potter? And listen, dude, I'm just really confused on why this dude is so, like, hell-bent on making this all right, I don't know when it changed, but it used to kind of be okay to be like, yeah, fictional characters are fictional. If somebody actually thought they were dating Harry Styles, you were able to be like, you're just not. But now it's like you can't even tell people that they're not married to fictional characters anymore. Like, what do you mean? And the subscriber at that point loses it, because the dean is basically like, who are you to know if she's married to Harry Potter or not? And he's like, a normal person? So he finally loses it and starts yelling at the dean. She is not married to Harry Potter. Is everyone here crazy? Like, is everybody here nuts? You're not married to Harry Potter. And the dean is like, wow, that was uncalled for. There's really no reason to raise your voice. We were trying to have a discussion here and come to a conclusion that made this community a better place. But if you don't want to apologize to your classmates for, viewing things differently than them, then I guess you just have to live with that. And he's like, fine, I don't care. I guess I'll live with that. And then the dean proceeds to explain, and this is the way the rules work. If anyone's involved in an altercation, both parties get suspended, so they both get suspended. But this dean might go down as the worst school administrator in history, because on top of it, he adds on 4 days of detention to this guy's, punishment, right? Because he refused to apologize. Both of them got suspended, the slapping's wrong, apparently making fun of somebody for thinking they're married to Bugs Bunny is wrong. But, he got an extra time of detention because he just did not want to apologize for telling her she's not married to Harry Potter. And listen, I don't know why this is a controversial opinion. You just can't marry fictional characters. It's nothing personal. They just don't actually exist. Saying that you're married to Harry Potter is literally the same thing as saying you are married to Winnie the Pooh, because they're both characters from a book that don't actually exist. If you want to be like, oh, I hope one day I get to marry Daniel Radcliffe, then by all means, I guess that's a daydream for you. But Harry Potter, the Wizarding World boy with the scar on his head, does not exist. I'm telling you, dude, people being allowed on TikTok for the last year was a mistake. You got people out here really thinking they're teleporting into book worlds. Oh my goodness. I'm very glad I did not go to school when TikTok existed, because I feel like it might have actually gone pretty far to make people nuts. But yeah, anyways guys, hopefully you enjoyed that video. I know I had a good time reading it and making it, so if you did enjoy it, be sure to press the like button, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought, and of course subscribe if you're new and turn on notifications. I'd appreciate it. Beyond that, if you really want to help me out, you can check out the intro song. Link to it will be down below in the description, along with a link to my podcast, The Scuffed Cast, or you could use code SCRUBBY at the G Fuel checkout. Great way to get a discount on G Fuel and help me out. Last but certainly not least, I did go ahead and put some of my story times up on Spotify so y'all can listen to them offline, or if you don't want to watch gameplay, whatever floats your boat, that link will be in the top of the description. Be sure to check it out. And yeah, on that note, guys, that'll do it. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I will see each and every single one of you guys next time with another video. I'm out. Peace.